Morning, Bob. Figured I'd wait until somebody actually acknowledged that I was here. Hi, Rhonda. Hi, Charlotte. Hi, Logan. Hi, whoever else is there. Morning, Darth. I guess I can get the laptop a little closer here so I can actually read what's happening. You have COVID again. I keep hearing that people keep getting it. I haven't had it yet, not once. I feel left out. Third time. Well, yikes. You're like drooling all over my hand, bite. Kind of gross. Here, drool on that. I mean, either I haven't had it or I've had one of these asymptomatic cases of it. There've been a couple times I've like lost my voice for a day or two, but that's it. Morning, Breck. You just love that, don't you, Bite? We're kind of getting into shedding season now, aren't we, Bite? Yes, we are. As we get closer to the summer, even though you don't really experience real seasons here because the air conditioning is always on. It's always above 70 degrees in here. You still shed in the summer, don't you? Yes, you do. He still likes to be the center of attention here. I don't pay attention to him, and he walks away, and then he comes back because it's all about him, isn't it? It's all about the chin rubs. I have kind of settled on the cabinet style. I'm looking at something. It's actually fairly similar pattern wise to what I have now. It's just it's white without all the gunk in the crevices there. A couple people suggested that I should just have them refaced rather than replaced. But the problem is I'm also moving them up. So Home Depot suggested that too. But once I said no, but we got to move them up because of the bulkhead and all that. Yeah, I agree. It just looks dirty. I'm already a slob. I don't need to add to it. I just don't know what they were thinking. Yeah, I'm not a scrubbing forever kind of person. That's part of the issue. Work as well. Work as well. Things are going great. Getting a lot of responsibility, learning new things, but the boss seems to be happy with how I'm doing. He was interviewing a new employee yesterday and introduced me to the new employee and referred to me as his right and his left hand. I did actually try and well, I didn't sand it, but I used trying some sort of a chemical that was supposed to like dissolve the paint, and I was able to get right back to the wood, but it took such a long time to do just a small amount of it that it would take me months to finish all of them. So I think it's just going to be better to um, replace them. Start with something new, and I'll be much happier. Yeah, it's my long weekend too. I don't know what's is it a holiday in Canada, Rhonda? I don't know. I don't follow Canadian holidays that much. Yeah, it was a nice storm. We got I think we got about 2 inches of rain out of that. I love it when it rains. It's the other lead at work. It's kind of funny. She also came from Disneyland. She also moved here from California. And my boss just still blows his mind that his two leads are both people that worked at Disneyland, but she does not like the weather at all. You know, she thinks I'm crazy for really loving it when it rains. But hey, I am what I am, right? Victoria Day, okay. Hello, Spaniel Mom. How are you? Ah, nice cold frozen water. I love it. Doesn't get any better than that. Does anyone think that the King Charles's new official portrait looks like that picture of Vigo from Ghostbusters 2? Yeah, frozen vodka. That's it exactly. The problem is I keep vodka in the freezer and it doesn't freeze. Yeah, I don't know what they were thinking. Makes it look like he's the devil or something like that. All the kind of flame behind him. Too modern for me. Yeah, right. Devil's advocate, exactly. I don't know. I think a lot of times now leaders want their portraits to stand out from everything else. I think of Barack Obama's official portrait too. It's like, what the heck were they thinking? Yeah, I just have TV posters in my wall. As a matter of fact, I do. This one I got for a steal too. Look at that thing. I got that for like 30 bucks out the door. That was a trip because the place I go to, they give you um, points for whenever you buy something. And so every what 250 points or something like that is like a $15 credit in the store, and I had like 2,000 points. So I walked in there and got this basically $150 rock for $30 by cashing in all my points. So I thought that was pretty cool. They had that in the window. They take all their good stuff and put it in the window, and often I'm the one that takes it out of the window. So I like that one. That one's a cool addition. Yeah, exactly. Bargain rock. Somebody found it on the ground and brought it into the rock shop, and I walked away with it for $30. Got another opal too, but that's you know just I like opals, so they're kind of cool. But I like all the little crystal activity in there too, and there's a lot of like color in there too. You can see like there's some pink right there, and kind of almost a blue color on most of the stone there. But yeah, that's just what the other side of it looks like. You wouldn't imagine finding a rock that looks like that and then opening it up, and that's what's inside of it. Not going to go down to that place today, though. They're closed for the weekend. Apparently, their air conditioning went out. So when I was in there last week, they had fans, and it was really kind of hot, and humid in there. So uh, they're getting the air conditioning fixed, and then I guess they're going to go shopping and have some new stuff to look at. They were actually sending me some text pictures of certain things here. Let me see if I can find what they sent me here, because they now know. I said, send me pictures of stuff, and I'll tell you if I'm interested, and then you can, bring it back. Because what they sometimes do is they say, "Oh, Breck would love this," and they'll bring it back for me and hope that I'm into that. And I said, well, let me see it ahead of time, and I'll tell you, up front if it's something I might be interested in. Let's see here. There. Oh, come on. I don't want to. Jeez. They don't make this easy here. Okay, come on. They want me to set up a pin for this here. And they give you all this option, all these crazy options here that you got to do. Yeah, that was a piece that they showed me. That's just a huge quartz cluster. And I don't know. I replied back because that's nice, but it's I have that other piece that I got that was bigger, and it comes gets to the point where I don't necessarily want to just reinvent the wheel all the time here, get the same thing over and over again. They got to impress me with something new. So I don't know. That's a beautiful piece, but I also think they ruin it when they drive a spike through it so they can put it on a stand. I'd rather have it sit on the floor, sit on a wooden stand or something like that. Well, there's a few things that I've told them I'd love to find. And so they're kind of looking for things from me. I'd like to see a piece of raw Euperlite. I have a piece of Euperlite, but it's carved into a pyramid, and that's one of the things I'm not really into. I'm not really into rocks that they've shaped into something else. I think you ruin a rock when you do that. Yeah, I got a couple things that are carved, but generally, and they know this. I like the raw stuff, and they've been having a hard time finding just raw Euperlite. You can get all sorts of carved Euperlite, but That's not how it's done with the AC. Yeah, right. I did a "that's not how it's done" reference, I think, in the last video, or one of my last videos. Oh, you love Gallery 11. Then they got all sorts of rocks shaped as things. Like I said, I'm not really into that. But it looks like you're talking about just rocks that are naturally, shaped like a heart, as opposed to something that something that was shaped to look like a rock or look like a heart. Yeah, that'd be funny. Get a rock and shape it to look like a rock. Logan says her rock in her pocket looks like a foot. All right. Yeah, let me show you that piece of Uperlite. I've shown it to you before, but like I said, it's cool because of what it does. But I think it'd be way cooler if it was natural. Yeah, see, that's my piece of Uperlite there, and they shaped it into the shape of a pyramid, and I'm just not really into that. I mean, it was cool, and I like how it kind of glows yellow when you hit it with the black light. But you know, like I said, there is some that's raw out there. There's got to be because people are taking the raw Uperlite and shaping it into stuff. So I just got to find somebody. I just got to find somebody that has the raw stuff. The person that's supplying all the raw stuff to the people who are shaping it. That'll just make it smoother. Good morning, Gene. Yep, I'm drinking on the job. All right, no more broken kitties, huh? Broken kitties aren't a whole lot of fun. Why did the rooster go to KFC? Wanted to see a chicken strip? Boy, that sounds like a dad joke. Hello, Tracy. How are you doing? Yeah, Bite and Nibble turned 17 in March. One more year and they're out on their own. Because 18-year-old, you got to be out on your own by that time, right? I heard that they're actually draining the lake right now. They've opened up some of the dams to lower the water level. There's so much water. We've gotten so much rain this year, and there's more coming because we're supposed to get some rain again on Wednesday. And then, like, at least right now, I mean, it's too hard to tell right now, what'll actually happen. But middle of the week until next Saturday, it's supposed to rain like every day. Now uh, that can all still kind of wither away over the next few days. But no, it's actually pretty hot here. We're supposed to be into the 90s today. I don't know what's the multiplier for cat years. I know it's 7 years for dogs, but yeah, that happens in California too, Rhonda. Another reason I'm glad to be out of there. Well, I mean, if it's 7 years, and what are we talking? They're 119 years old. I don't know. I don't know if that's the case. I know they got to get out and get a job. They sure don't act like they're 82. And it's even worse when you're there, Tracy. I know they got to pay rent, pay for some of their food. I mean, they're the laziest things in the world. Lay around and sleep all day. Jeez, that's a life. Have someone feed you. It's weird. I'm looking at how the ice works here, and there's like a little like a concave piece of ice floating in the water here. I thought it was like a block of ice, but it's all just thin. Yeah, sleep all day, party all night. I know that's what it is, really. Yeah, it is like KOA, only more feces on the ground and drug paraphernalia. I mean, I haven't been into Hollywood in a long time now, but it was bad when I was there, last time, and I can only imagine it was worse. You couldn't even see a lot of the Hollywood Walk of Fame because there's just tents all over the place. It's crazy. Jordan was right to move out of that place. I was too, and Orange County wasn't as bad as LA County is. But even there, there was a place over by the Home Depot that I went to when I'd go to my, go get stuff there. It was like a bridge overpass, and there was a big homeless camp under that. Yeah, right. I can imagine. It's like how they cleaned up all the illegal immigration when Joe Biden went to the border. There's a term for that. It's a Potemkin village. Google it. Yeah, I agree, Gene. That's my approach. I don't I don't want to support any of that. I automatically assume that anybody asking for handouts, especially if they're an able-bodied adult, they're just milking the system. You know, go get a job. There's plenty of jobs out there. It isn't really bad here in Waco. You don't see the homeless villages. Occasionally, you'll see somebody panhandling. Um, at an intersection. You remember a couple months ago when I went to that place underneath the I-35 freeway where they had those uh, uh, metal framed light fixtures that cast shadows on the ground? There were a couple of homeless people there while I was there. So I mean, we have a few of them, but it's not it's not like LA. No, I've never given money to a panhandler. Good morning, Connie. Area 51 shirt. No, it's Baker, California. It's something I got when Jordan. Jordan and I went to Vegas one time, I think to celebrate Jaws' fourth birthday, and we stopped at Baker and got that there. I haven't heard anything from Jordan about a date. If I get an invite, I'll definitely try and go. I mean, Jordan's a good friend. I've known him for a long time. I've known him for more than half his life now. That's crazy. I think he was 17 or 18 when I met him. Yeah, I know. I remember that being a joke. Anybody ever seen the movie Kentucky Fried Movie? It's a series of like little skits in it, and then there's like a supposedly a about an hour long movie. That's kind of a takeoff on Bruce Lee movies, and there's one scene in there where the evil villain is sending his his enemies. Is punishing his enemies, and one of them says, "Send him to Detroit." I met Jordan at a Guided by Voices concert. In fact, the day that I left California, and Jordan and I left California to come to Texas the first time. That day, Jordan actually went on camera and explained how, and even I learned some things about it because he was there with his friend Kevin, and his friend Kevin was fan of a band called The Residents, and I just happened to be wearing my Residents T-shirt to that show, and Kevin saw that, and they came over and talked to us, and that's how it started. We hung out at the concert, and then during the process of that, Jordan, told me, "Oh yeah, we have a band too called Candyland Riots. We're playing our first show in a couple weeks." And Matt, the guy who does Island Horizon videos, and his ex-wife and I went and saw that show. That was the first, and I became friends of Jordan, and eventually he knew I had a Guided by Voices website, and he asked me to take over the Candyland Riots website, and I did that, and just became very close, and we've been, friends ever since. Yeah, all because of a T-shirt, exactly. Yeah, Jordan was vlogging before, well before I was. But it was Jordan that suggested I do it. He knew I had been thinking about going to Texas, and when I finally made the decision, I'll tell you that story because that'll kill some time, right? Um, I had made the decision the previous summer, so that was like probably almost 6 years ago now. That I'm done with California. I'm done with Disney. I'm going to fix up my house. I'm going to sell it, and I'm going to move to Texas. And so the parade I was working on, they made one of the things that was kind of the kicker and made me really made the decision. It's like, okay, now is the time to make the jump. Is that they had decided that uh, there weren't going to be any parades or any shows in California Adventure that year. And so when the Christmas season ended and when they stopped doing Viva Navidad, my hours went to zero. And at that point, it's like, okay, well, that's it. That's what I need. So at that point, I had a little bit of money saved up and made the decision I was going to fix up the house and sell it. And during that time, I said, okay, well, I'm going to Texas, but I don't know where. And so I'd literally looked at Texas on Google Maps and realized that, okay, well, the west side of Texas is very desert-like and very dry, and the east side of Texas is more green. So I said, okay, well, I got to be in a green area. I don't want to live in a desert. I've lived in a desert all my life, but I didn't know where. So I came here and spent about a week in Dallas and just kind of drove around the state and tried to figure out where I wanted to be. I was thinking, maybe Dallas, Fort Worth area. No, that was too much like LA. I wanted to be a little bit more out in the sticks. Um, I went to a place almost on the Louisiana border called Longview. Wasn't really into that. I decided to look at Waco. Basically, I just looked at the cities on Google Maps and looked for decent sized cities that seemed like they had like a good business environment. And Waco was one of my choices. And I came here. I just fell in love with the place. I remember the day I was here, I was kind of driving around and looking at houses that were for sale. And I was sending text messages back to my dad of pictures of the house, of different houses here and what they were costing. And they were, 195, $200,000, like six, seven, $800,000 in California. So that just blew me away. These big houses on these nice plots of land, some of them right down by Lake Waco. And, you know, I was sold. I made the decision on that day that that was where I wanted to go. Well, one night while I was kind of, kicking back at night, um, Jordan started texting me and he was aware that I was in Texas. He says, you know what you should do? You should do a vlog and just start vlogging. And I did, and I was resistant. I couldn't imagine myself being on camera. I'm kind of shy and kind of an introvert, and I thought it'd be really awkward on camera. Um, but he said, "Yeah, you got to do it." And he started giving me an example of this guy who I guess became homeless and was living in a mobile home or like a camper or something like that. And he was vlogging his experiences, and he said, "If that guy can do it, you can do it." And Jordan kind of kept the hardcore, the full court press on me for a few weeks after that, and about a month after that, I did my first vlog. And well, here we are. It's been more than 5 years now since my first vlog. In fact, in the last week, it was 5 years ago that I came to Texas because it was like the 10th or 11th of May, I think, when I arrived in Texas for the first time. And I mean, it was the best decision I ever made. Everything just really fell into place here. I love this place. Love my house, love my job, love where I live, love the people around here. Yeah, it was a little weird. I was more concerned about, and my father expressed this too when I told him what I was going to do. He said, the downside on this is a one-way trip. There's no coming back if it doesn't work. But fortunately, I had the profits from selling the house in California, and that enabled me to support myself for the first 9 or 10 months until I got the job, and everything just turned around, became better when I got that, and everything just snowballed from there. I do enjoy vlogging. I mean, I'm not doing this for the money. I make nothing doing this, almost nothing. I've referred to it before as beer money. But I get a kick out of doing it. It encourages me to get out and see things. I know more about Waco after living here for 5 years than I did living for 55 years in California. So, and that's all because I've been getting out and vlogging because it encourages me to learn things. I know a lot of the history of this place. You know, uh, from the dark sides to the kind of funny to the kind of quirky to all the weird things that have kind of happened in this place. I don't know. I often say I have the largest private collection of Guided by Voices memorabilia in the world. I've never seen anybody that has a bigger collection. People ask from time to time what my favorite collected piece is, and I keep pointing to that guitar right there. That was owned by the lead guitarist of Guided by Voices. And actually, you can't see it because there's a telescope in front of it. But that picture to the right of it is actually an official promotional photo of the lead singer with him holding that guitar. So I thought that was really cool. And I didn't even get those two pieces knowing that there was a connection. I was collecting promotional photos and stuff like that. And a couple years after I got it, I was revamping the website, and I rescanned a bunch of stuff that I had just low resolution scans of. And when I really, really zoomed in on that, I said, geez, that looks like that guitar I got from Doug. And I zoomed way in and confirmed it is the same guitar. So that was just two pieces of my collection I didn't even know were connected. But that was really cool to discover that. And that's now my favorite piece. I think it is the largest. I've never seen anybody that has more. Yeah, I would do more political interviews. If the opportunity presents itself. If that thing with Alan West, that just dropped into my lap. I became kind of involved, kind of on the fringes with the Republican Party in Waco, and I signed up for their newsletter and all that stuff. And I found out that Alan was just going to be in town. I'd met him before because he had come to do a speech at one of the local colleges here, and I went down and met him, and he was a really nice guy. I kind of introduced myself to him, and told him that I had just recently relocated here from California, and he actually mentioned me in his speech, so that was kind of cool. And then when he showed up again, um, I went and he was doing a stump speech. At that point, he was running for governor of Texas, trying to unseat. Uh, I always forget his name. The governor here. He didn't win, but he was very, very. I walked up to him. I had my camera with me, and I was hoping I could talk to him for a few minutes. And I had a couple of questions and written down, and I said, "Yeah, I'm doing a little vlog in." here in Waco. And would you mind? And before I even got to the, would you mind, if I put you on camera and ask some questions? He says, he excused himself from the people. Said, "Yeah, let's do this." I remember when the local Walmart here got rid of all the checkout stands and started trying to go to self-serve checkout. It's like there's times where I want to have somebody check me out, but now I guess they're reversing trend because of all the theft. It's funny though. I think California just passed a law saying that you have to pay fast food workers $20 or $25 an hour, and now they passed a law outlawing the self-serve checkouts because they knew all these companies were just firing the workers and just going to the self-serve checkouts. But this is California not thinking its way through things. In fact, it was funny. I was at Walmart one time, and they had one, uh, cashier, where somebody checked you out, and then everything else was self serve. And I went to the one thing, and one of the girls that was watching the self serve place came over to me and says, if you're not not sure how to use the checkout, I'll help you with it. It's like, no, I'm not. It's not that I don't know how to use it. I'm actually trying to protect your job because Walmart did this not because they want to save money, and they save money by firing people like you. You should appreciate the fact that I'm trying to defend you and trying to protect your job. Yeah, I've heard of them having like robots flipping burgers. This whole idea that any job you have, no matter how menial, has to pay you a living wage. That's insane. But that's where we're getting here. You know, Flipping burgers was never meant to be a career. If you have no ambition to move any further than that, then why should anyone pay you anymore? Yeah, I do self checkout all the time if I just got a couple items. But if you're going to the grocery store and you have a grocery cart full of stuff, I don't want to sit there and do that. I don't work there. And if you're not going to give me a discount for self-serve checkout, then why would I do that? Yeah, I've actually seen them experimenting with robots cooking the food too. I mean, technically, you could run a fast food restaurant entirely by robots. Just have one person there to fix the machines when they break. Yeah, well, that's what I thought too, John. Restaurants could finally say, "Yeah, 100% guaranteed. There's no spit in your food." Hey, Yvonne. I mean, I do use the self-serve. They have a couple of self-serve lines at Home Depot, and if I'm just going in for one or two items, and just sometimes that's a quicker way to go. But if I'm going through with something big, I'm not gonna go through self-serve. I'm gonna have somebody help me with it. Or if I get a whole bunch of things. Oh, you can't forget about the live stream, Yvonne. Well, we'll talk about whatever people bring up. Oh, Bite was out here a little bit ago, but he's usually here right at the start of the live stream, and then goes back to his room. He sometimes appears out here though from time to time. Oh man, you missed the most riveting live stream ever. I've heard stories about people getting fired for chasing thieves out of the store. I don't understand that. I've almost accidentally stolen once. I'll admit I went to Home Depot once, and I picked up some stuff, and I just kind of got on autopilot, walked right out the front door, got out to the parking lot, said, I didn't pay for this. But the second I realized, I turned around, went right back in. But I walked right past they had like the returns desk there, and the self or the contractor checkout, and service department. Nobody even noticed it. I walked right out the front door with a couple $100 worth of merchandise. I was like, crap, I didn't pay for this. But nobody even noticed, and I turned around, walked back in, did it. That's happened from time to time. I got out to the car once and found something that I'd forgotten to take out of the cart. But I don't intentionally steal. It's accidental. And the second I realize it, I turn around and correct it. Oh man, somebody steals, falls in the parking lot, and tries to sue. That's crazy. Yeah, I usually correct it if I notice. I mean, I do everything with a card for the most part now, but yeah, I've had somebody give me too much, and I'll say, no, wait, let's try this again. You gave me too much. Well, they almost encourage people to steal in California because they won't prosecute if you steal less than $1,000. So, people go in there, they steal $900 worth of stuff, and the store can't or won't do anything, and the police won't investigate. That's crazy. Yeah, I still kind of prefer to go buy something in person. Sometimes I'll order things online, but we don't have a whole lot of porch pirates here. Has anybody ever seen any of the videos of that guy who combats porch pirates? He's like an electrical engineer, and he builds like glitter bombs and fart smell bombs and stuff like that. That when they open up the package, it sprays glitter and makes them think it's going to explode, and unleashes like fart spray on them and stuff like that. I love that. When I was at my sister's house a few months ago, I think for my mom's funeral, um, my brother-in-law was talking about. I was watching some YouTube videos on like porch pirates and stuff like that, and I mentioned that up and mentioned that guy, and he started pulling up those videos, and we're just laughing at that. That's so funny. Go check that out. Yeah, porch pirate revenge or something like that. Search that on YouTube. It's hilarious. He does like glitter bombs, and of course he puts cameras in there and shoots pictures of them so they can see their response. We don't have a lot of that. I've never had anything disappear from my porch. Yeah, that's probably a good search, Gene. Yeah, that's what they do, Yvonne. They'll follow the UPS truck and see who they deliver to, and then pick it up afterwards. See, I'd take it too far if I were doing that. I'd put like a claymore in one of those boxes. Yeah, I've heard blank shotgun cartridges too. I've heard of people doing that. Yeah, that's one of the things they do is have like a locked box. Yeah, some almond roca. Gee, this tastes like. Well, they're always telling police that you took the job. There's a possibility of getting shot. Well, you decided to be a thief. You knew there was a possibility you could get hurt. Yeah, unfortunately, there's too many judges that will see the criminal side on that. All right, one down. Yeah, yeah. Well, that's what happened to that Kyle Rittenhouse guy. The people that tried to kill him, tried to have him thrown in jail for defending himself, tried to have him tried for murder. It's crazy. I never really had a whole lot of problem with crime in where I lived in California. I was in a gated community, but it's still, I didn't. I'm so glad to be out of there. Well, I've said it before, Yvonne. Somebody comes into my house, they're going to have a very short, very loud conversation with a 12 gauge shotgun. I have zero tolerance for that. And that's true, Lindex. They're but Texans are just a very polite people too. It is you know there just isn't a lot of crime around here. Yeah, yeah, the Covington kids, right? Yeah, they sued like CNN, New York Times, and they won because those news agencies they basically called him Hitler and a racist. Yeah, squatters don't have any rights in Texas. I heard Florida's doing stuff about that too. They don't tolerate that. Must be about noon. It's like I got to adjust the antique clock here. It's not on in sync with the rest of them. Yeah, DeSantis is a great governor. I like Abbott though too. So that's probably why I've never heard of that, Rhonda. I don't watch TV and I don't watch the news. So yeah, I like Greg Abbott. He's a good guy. And I think she was saying it was on Netflix. Hey, you gonna come up and visit? Come on up. Yeah, there he is. Just those of you who were wondering where Bite was. Supposedly, the new Top Gun movie is on Paramount Plus, and I have Paramount Plus. I just haven't watched it. I do. I have kind of saved it in my favorites. I mean, I saw the original movie. It was a pretty good movie. I just, it was never one that I thought was a good enough of a movie that I wanted to, that I ever bought a copy of it. And yeah, it's supposed to be really good, but I haven't watched it as of yet. But like I said, it's on Paramount Plus. I think. Let me go see here. Paramount Plus on my cell phone, I think. Yeah. I don't remember what my. Let's see if that works. I don't remember what my password is, so let's try one more obvious one here. That's it. Okay. I got like a couple passwords I use over and over again. And now it says something went wrong. Okay, yeah, I can't get into it on my phone. I've been thinking I need to do another cooking vlog. I got another contractor coming out today to bid on the kitchen. I've gotten one official bid. I've had two contractors here so far. One of them never sent me a bid. He kind of verbally quoted about $4,000 to do it, and I thought, yeah, that's about what I would expect to do it. And then I had the guy that did bid on it. He bid $1,500, and that concerns me because that seems way too low, which makes me wonder, you know, about the quality. But like I said, I got another contractor coming out. I'm going to be here at 3 today, so I don't know. This is a woman too, so I don't know. Oh, meatball subs. That sounds good. You got to send me that recipe, Rhonda. Maybe I'll do that. I don't have any objection to a woman being my contractor. She can do the job. And I don't know. I don't know if it's a she's probably just the manager or the owner or something like that. It'd be an interesting gimmick, though, to all have all female contractors. Like I said, if they can do the job, I don't care. I would probably use like a marinara sauce over tomato soup. I think you'd probably get better flavor out of that. He's getting restless. We haven't given you any kitty treats today, have we? You poor starved thing, you. I love meatball subs. Yummy, yummy, yummy. You like meatball subs, Bite? Huh? Yeah, Bite is a meatball, isn't he? Are you a meatball? Yes, you are. He's my buddy. Yes, he is. Everything is so expensive right now. Yeah, we haven't done an ice cream vlog in a while. That's true. Nah, he's always going to be Bite. And he does bite me sometimes when he's taking the treat out of my hand. And he does bite me sometimes when he's taking the treat out of my hand. You're allergic to your Apple Watch? You're like allergic to everything, Rhonda. Homemade cat food. What do you think of that, Bite? That's strange. Yeah, I've never heard anyone being allergic to their watch. Yeah, me too, Darth. Yeah, I always have mint chocolate chip in my fridge. That's my favorite. You can't go wrong with that. But yeah, I still buy exclusively Bluebell. It's funny, I never had Bluebell ice cream until I moved to Texas, but it is just head and shoulders better than anything else. The only Bluebell ice cream I've had that I didn't really like was strawberry. And that's weird because I usually love strawberry. Yeah, I've never been a cookie dough. I know there's a lot of people who love cookie dough ice cream. That never really did anything for me. Ugh. These live streams always wear me out. I don't know why sitting and talking to my laptop is so exhausting. Oh yeah, I love mint. That's how you spell oil, right? Yeah, yawning is contagious, even through the computer. Some speck on my glasses driving me crazy here. There, that's better. Big bit of one, huh? Yeah, that's happened to me too, Yvonne. One of the cats yawns and I yawn. Yeah, that's wild that happened, Rhonda. That is kind of a good burn. I'm kind of glad in my job I don't have to deal with customers. I do that at Disneyland, you know. Some people are just idiots. I was doing a show a few years ago. One of the shows I did was based on the cartoon Phineas and Ferb, and we did a show called the Phineas and Ferb Rockin' and Rollin' Dance Party, where Phineas and Ferb drove out in a car, got out, they did a show, and then where the kids get to dance with Phineas and Ferb, and then they got back in the car and drove away. And there was one point where a father had led his 2-year-old kid onto the dance floor, and the kid wasn't wearing shoes. Well, you're not allowed to be, you're not allowed to be, walking around in a dance floor, without shoes. So I told the dad that, hey, your kids got to have shoes on. The guy called me an a-hole. Yeah, it isn't you though, Rhonda. It's the people. People have just gotten uh, more coarse these days. I think it comes from the fact that we have a whole generation of kids that weren't spanked. I had plumerias growing in my yard in California. Becoming a little bit crotchety there, Rhonda. Yeah, that's a whole thing. Yeah, that's a whole thing. About how we raised a generation of kids without no boundaries. I saw a meme yesterday that perfectly sums it up. You know, we've gone from if you don't stop crying, I'll give you something to cry about to if you stop crying, I'll buy you something. No, I'm gonna let it go for a while. We'll make a decision about the pool later. Right now, I just like it to be sunny enough for a few days so the water in there evaporates so I can actually pull the liner up. Because it rains so much right now, there's like water, and I've cut the liner off the side of the pool just because it was going to have to be just taken down anyway, and it's really bad shape. Well, it'll evaporate eventually if we get a few sunny days here. Yeah, one of the things that makes me, kind of move away from the idea of like just getting like a large soaking pool is I actually do like to like swim underwater. You can't really do that unless you get a decent sized pool. Yeah, that may work that way, John, or I may decide in the middle of summer, it's like, yeah, I really want the pool back. It could go either way. All right, sorry about your internet, Tracy, but we'll see you next week. We'll be here. I did mainly just soak in it, but from time to time, it just felt really good to, go underwater, kick off the side of the pool, and swim to the other side. Yeah, yeah, I would love to have a 9 foot deep pool too. No, it was freshwater, and I never really got that much exercise in it. But I don't know, it's just, it's a great feeling to just kind of kick off the side of the pool and swim to the other side. An in ground would be nice, but you're right, they are hugely expensive. Well, it's funny. I got one of these clawtooth bathtubs in the master bathroom that I've never ever used. Yes, definitely with a diving board. Yeah, I've heard of people doing the saltwater pool. No, no pool items on the wish list. Not going to do anything there until I decide what's going to happen. Yeah, cutting the lawn 4 times a week, that's a little much. Quarter of a mile long pool. I don't think that would fit in my backyard. Yeah, people have suggested a hot tub too. I mean, there's nothing to say you'd have to, have the heat on. Most of what I do is just soak in it anyway, but it is nice to be able to go underwater. But that could be an option too. You replace the pool, put trees in its place, and put a hot tub in somewhere else in the yard. That'll be a heck of a lot easier to keep clean too, because I could just put plywood over the top of it, and then there wouldn't be the issue at all. And the beauty of like a hot tub or a spa or something like that was, you can just drain the water. It's not that much. You're right. I mean, it would be nice to come home and, just hop in there after, going out on a walk some night, when it's like 90 degrees at night, come home a little sweaty, hop in the pool. Yeah, the two big, I got two big blinds in the front of the house. You don't see them because they're on the other side of the camera. I usually keep those closed too. I'm kind of a private person too. I liked the fact, one of the things I liked about my house in California is there was so many windows on the upper level that I could keep open all the time. And all the windows on the lower level were in the backyard. And so I could get a lot of light in the house. Um, and still have maintained the privacy. Hey, Eric. Okay, there you go. Gonna make everyone yawn again. Who you running against? I lock my doors all the time, but it's more out of habit. I mean, there are times where I discover, oh, the front door was unlocked for the last 3 days. So, what makes you more qualified than the three girls? That's what you got to do: decide why you're the right person and they're the wrong person. Yeah, I just have a two-car garage, but I only have one car, so the other half is a workshop. I have thought about going into local politics, city council or something like that. That would actually be a good qualification to be a historian, because then you can document what happens. What are their qualifications, if any? Do they do any of that? I would have to start by maybe going to some city council meetings just to kind of get an idea what the issues are. Because right now I don't know what the issues are in this area. I was part of an HOA in California. I wasn't into that. Everyone else resigned, and it was just me. And I don't know if I'd vlog city council meetings. I think those would be pretty boring, but I would probably attend some and just to kind of get an idea, what the issues are in the area, and figure out who I would be running against. If there's somebody there that's maybe too much of a lefty or something like that. Although I don't think there'd be much of an issue. This is a pretty conservative area. Well, and that's part of the reason why I'd want to go to the meetings and figure out what's going on, and figure out what I think about any of those issues. We wish you luck, Eric. You got my endorsement if that means anything. You're the most qualified person I know for the job. Yeah, that was one of the things when I gave the realtor a list of qualifications for my house. One of the things was no HOA. And I got over being, on I was actually part of the architectural committee. So when people wanted to, make, make additions to their yard, they had to go through and be approved by the architectural committee. Yeah, Bite is kind of like that. He follows me around. Yeah, I mean, I can see kind of the point of a historical society. If you, especially if you're in a place like Waco where there's like 150-year-old homes, you want to make sure somebody's not going to take a beautiful old historic home and ruin it. But in terms of just general houses, that's a different thing. Well, that was the reason I got into the architectural committee. I wanted to make sure the place didn't turn into a bunch of Nazis. I want there were 5 or 6 basic rules, and they were all kind of common sense stuff. You couldn't do something that was going to damage your neighbor's house. You couldn't, do do certain kinds of things. And I did my best to keep that thing limited to that. It wasn't ever, this expanding, you know, controlling state that wants to micromanage everything. Because I've heard so many stories, about you got to have certain kinds of welcome mats, and you can't have this kind, but you can have that kind. It's like that's crazy. My position was, you move into a house, within reason, you ought to be able to have a, a lot of latitude to turn that thing into your own, into your version of heaven. See that's a little too much. If you can't have like boats or RVs or something like that in your driveway, that's insane. Yes, that happens a lot, Yvonne. People go overboard. Well, it was stupid, at the place I was because everybody's front door was in the backyard, so it was behind a locked gate. So I mean, who's going to see it? Like I said, it was always the rules that were there. Um, were more about protecting your neighbor's property because You couldn't change the slope of your yard so all the water ran towards your neighbor's house. That kind of stuff. Yeah, I'm telling you what kind of pets you can have. That's crazy. They go overboard a little bit sometimes. I'd like to go into the Hippodome Theater sometime. I've never been inside. The place is supposedly still in business, but I don't think I've ever seen it open. I saw that, Yvonne, where I don't think it was the HOA. I think it was the city council. They told him uh, he had to put a fence in front of his boat, so he put a mural on the front of the fence that looked like his boat. I saw that. That was hilarious. Yeah, I've seen that haunted tour of Waco. I've thought about doing that too. That'd be a great vlog. Exactly. Yeah, it was. That's been popping up on my timeline for about a week now. Yeah, I might do something like that at some point. And that's always the problem, Eric, is when they're open on Fridays and Saturdays. I work Fridays and Saturdays, so that makes it difficult. I need to be open on Mondays and Tuesdays. Yeah, especially if we picked up some voices, that would actually be great if we could actually get some proof of something, right? But yeah, you never. That's never going to happen. Good day, Sue Myers. I was actually surprised. I went out in the yard this morning and was looking at the garden. I got my first tomato growing on the tomato vines. That was the cover photo of the live stream. I saw that. I was like, oh man, that's the cover photo. Blew me away because I don't usually get tomatoes for a long time. But yeah, that little puppy's growing on my tomato bush, about the size of a golf ball. So Hopefully we'll get some tomatoes. I did see the turtle on the skateboard. Never had fried green tomatoes. I prefer fresh red tomatoes. I had to look around and say, are there any more out there? I hope I get a good crop though, but it doesn't surprise me that they're starting early because we've gotten so much rain this year. That's what I was thinking, Yvonne. Tomatoes are great on hamburgers. Well, that's surprising because I thought they were all cherry tomatoes, but that one's not going to be a cherry tomato. That's going to be like a beefsteak tomato. And it's funny because some of the plants in the back are already up to that scaffolding thing I built, but some of the ones in the front, are only halfway up there. So maybe there are different. Maybe I did get some different varieties. I guess I'll have to go look. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to vlog today. If I do, it might be like a cooking vlog or something. I haven't done one of those for a while, and I need to eat tonight. So your tomatoes are called slicer boys. Okay. I love tomatoes. Yeah, I pretty much love all tomatoes. Barbecue sounds good too. Yeah, I love beefsteak tomatoes. I've grown those in the past, and there may be some of that out there. I think I did get a variety of different kinds of tomatoes because I think I planted some types of tomatoes in the front, some tomatoes in the back, different types. Tacos sound good too. Love tacos. Anything Mexican is good. Angus burgers, yummy, yummy. Oh, I love sour cream. I don't know. Is that one of your allergies? I love sour cream. Stuffed cheese and bacon burgers sounds good. With fries, yes, absolutely. Okay, just not a fan. Okay. That's okay. You don't have to like everything I like. That's not the rule. Love olives too. I'll just buy jars of olives just to snack on. I'll tell you that peach ice cream I made last year, that was the best stuff ever. False teeth. Yeah, that's the reason. Never heard of anyone taking a jar of olives to the movies, but yeah, I love black olives. I love green olives. I love basically any olive. No water, huh? Maybe the valve that opens up to let the water in is faulty. I like popcorn, but I don't usually eat it that much because it bugs me when the kernels get stuck in my teeth. You know, like the pimento. Yeah, I love olives with pimentos. I like to suck the pimento out. Hey, Michael. Yeah, things are going great. Um, Loving the job. You know, it's a challenge every day, but I got good people working with me and working for me, and I'm very happy where I am. Keeping me busy, but you know what? I love them paychecks. Oh yeah, yummy, yummy, yummy. It's time to eat, huh? Feed me, Crowborn. Feed me now. Good talking to you, Rhonda. It's always great when you're here. Hope to see you next time. Bye, Charlotte. Bye, Logan. Stay away from the COVID. You have to wrap this one up. We're running out of vodka here. It's funny, I had somebody in to snake out my kitchen sink drain about a week ago. Got all plugged up and wasn't draining. And when they came in the backyard to go into the to the access point, I told them, "Hey, you can come and go in the backyard, but make sure you close the door. There's a turtle back here, and she may not look like it, but you leave that door open for 1 minute, she'll be gone." At that point, they were obsessed, and they had to wander all over the yard and find her. They did find her, so they were kind of excited to see her. Try a burger pizza, huh? I don't know. What's that? Does a burger taste like a pizza, or pizza taste like a burger? Either way, I'm intrigued. It's two things I love. Pickle pizza. Yeah, I guess I could see that. As maybe something good. Yeah, I heard something about a new barbecue place that was opening up. Might have to check that out. I've been still meaning to go check out that Mexican food place called Hecho in Waco. I'm told that's pretty good. I've seen it a whole bunch of times. It's right down there by the Magnolia Silos. And I love me good Mexican food. So hard to find good Mexican food here because they want to do this Tex-Mex stuff. I've talked about that before. Just not a fan. There's things that are just perfect the way they are. They don't need to be modified. All right. Oops. Two down. Watermelon with chili on it. Yeah, that doesn't sound good. It is possible to ruin things by adding other things to them. I love regular pizza. Just basically any pizza is good. Pizza's like the perfect food. Never get tired of that. Yeah, I think pepperoni pizza is my favorite pizza ever. But I like it on a thick crust. Oh, almost nap time here. Beautiful day out today. Holy cow. A little bit of a breeze out there. Supposed to be in the 90s though. Yeah, I guess I like both thin crust and thick crust, or deep crust, I guess. I guess it's about one. There goes the cuckoo clock. Concrete crust, I've never tried that one. Doesn't sound very appetizing. I think it would break my teeth. Yeah, I think we're winding this one down too. I don't know, I'll give it another minute or two. Anybody else has anything they want to say? Other than that, looks like people are checking out here. I don't blame you. I can only take me for about 2 hours too. I guess I gotta let that one catch up a little bit. That one's a little late. No, I didn't see Jeff today. You're right. All right. Yeah. Sounds like we're kind of winding down here. So I'm going to wrap this one up. Uh, thanks for the live stream. I had a good time today. I think we talked about a lot of fun things, but it is time to end. So I'm going to pull the plug on this one. Have a good day, everyone. I'll see you next time. Good night.